Where we come from, we each fight for loyalty, for freedom, or perhaps enlightenment. But not here. Here we cast aside our disparate beliefs, our barriers and preconceived notions, and band together as a global force to engage in some of the largest competitive battles this world has ever seen. We are the squads, the platoons, the empires and servers, full of players coordinating a complex game of strategy and tactics. This is where combined arms happens. This is where war comes to play. This is ServerSmash.
Radlock is amazing as always. Okay. So we are 3 minutes out from the base cap, or from game start, I should say. Odin, you've got about, let's say, 95 other guys. How would you organize everything out? I mean, what would you go for? Would you place equal emphasis going north and south, or would you decide, I want to put more emphasis on a different lane?
To me, the biggest choke points obviously are the Echo Valley and Ymir. So I mean, both sides are going to be pushing as fast as they can to both those bases. But which one is more important? To me, honestly, it's Echo Valley. The reason being is it's easier to stall somebody at Ymir Biolab and try and take Echo Valley. And once you take one side or the other, that essentially gives you that middle lane. The middle lane is essentially what you get for free. You can take East River Sky Station and Terran BL4 Crash Site and Ymir Mine Launch.
So even if Ymir
no
was
one being able to stop you.
So even if Ymir was under contention going back and forth, if you could get to Echo Valley Substation first, you get that free middle lane because they can't stop it.
Exactly. So to me, I would much rather have my guys push as fast as they can to Echo Valley Substation and try and obfuscate, the other forces at either, on their way to either the Octagon or Cerro listening post as best I can, so I can get Echo Valley and then push down south. Ymir, you can fight all day at Ymir, and even if you lose it, you're probably never going to get it back, especially with these numbers. But if you can try and get those 3 territories for free, especially with the fact that each one of those territories is worth just as much as Ymir, worth just as much as Cerro, or just as much as the Octagon, to me that's going to be the tipping point, is
right.
Who can get the those force multipliers where you only have to send one guy to a point and you can still get it.
Do you think redeployment wars is going to come into this as much as it was last time? Because when you have a full continental battle, and it's like 240 and 240, you just say, right, I want 3 platoons on this base right now, because you've got a base that's under hack and it's got 7 minutes to go, but you're attacking a base that's only got 4 minutes, so you can afford to send 3 whole platoons to that one base, just super reinforce it, take it with absolute brute force, and then as soon as you grab that base, everyone redeploy quickly back to the previous base. Do you think that's going to have any impact here today?
It'll be really interesting for a couple of reasons. One, because it's not over an entire continent. I mean, you can, based on the spawning mechanics, you can get to more of the bases, that are in play, because you don't have to jump from Ymir to, say, Freyr, as well as the fact that with the fact that the vehicles don't cost any resources. What's to stop me from taking, instead of having my squad have it to redeploy and then, wait 15 seconds and things like that, what's to stop me and my squad from taking Galaxies or Reavers or Scythes and trying to kill a couple of planes on my way there?
Take over comms for a second. Okay, guys, this is Leo and Oracle. 20 seconds left. 20 seconds left.
So yeah, in the last few seconds, what's your favourite base in the lanes under contention?
Frostfall.
Definitely Frostfall?
Okay,
I like Terran BL4.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 guys. Go, go, go. Good luck to everybody.
We are live and we have now started. We're watching Ceres. It's a lot of Reavers for Ceres taking off.
There's a lot of sides over here too. I'll be excited where they go. Looks like they're going for Ymir.
I think that's the same for most of the NC. They're not all taking off at the same time. I think they need a kind of little warning saying, come on, let's go, guys. We're really going higher. It wouldn't surprise me if most of the NC has decided to go here with only the bare minimum grabbing at least the beginning bases, because there's no need.
Did you see any galaxies pulled from Ceres? There were a few that were that I saw from Waterson as well.
There are a few galaxies, but the first incoming now of the Scythes and Reavers engaging each other. There's a lot going on the minimap. It's hard to tell who's got the advantage. We won't know that until a while. There's lots of Scythes on the north and the east side of the biolab, but the fighting's all going up high.
I see quite a few galaxies going down over Ymir. There are many, many more size than I see any Reavers, and all the galaxies that Ceres pulled seem to be in the dust at this point.
Well, the actual Reavers are closer to over the bulwark than the actual amp station, since it's the way that the air works. There's still got plenty of Reavers over to the west side of the biolab.
Do you think? Oh, here they come. Do you think that Ceres may have waited a tick to see where Waterson is going?
Send in your sacrificial lamb. I would do that. I gotta say, admittedly, I am on an NC character right now, but I think I see more Reavers than I see Scythes. Still gonna be at least 20 Reavers in the air.
I'm seeing quite a few more Reavers than I did previously. It looked like Waterson was faster getting to the biolab, but once Ceres showed up, you're right, I'm seeing quite a few Reavers as well as the size now. Not many Liberators, though. I guess off the first engagement, that's hard to do.
I do see a couple of Liberators, mainly just for Ceres, that being New Conglomerate, the blue guys. But then again, we have to understand that everyone had an ESF to begin with, right? Because everyone had an ESF to begin with, their timers are ready, which means instant reinforcements. So
Did you notice? Look at the map right now. For whatever reason, Not Communications is almost a minute behind Eli Tower. Do you think that's because Waterson just forgot to send guys there, or what do you think could be the reason for that?
Check the population numbers. There are actually some VS at Ellie Forest Pass. There's also no one there. I'm just looking for any enemy forces where in bases they can't contend for, but I don't really see that at the moment. Maybe you can have a look around while I'm watching the air fight to see if anyone's trying to interdict the next adjacent base. But the important thing about this air battle, guys, is that everyone had already pulled their air force or their airplane, which means they can instantly pull a fresh ESF, they instantly get shot down and then reinforce. So this fight is far from over. Waterson definitely has a chance to reinforce with extra ESFs. And the beautiful thing about this is there's no sky guards, there's no flak, there's no lock-on from the ground. It is just a pure out-and-out dogfight.
Air purists rejoice.
Although, that being said, I still see significantly more Reavers in the sky than I do ESFs for the Vanu. I mean, this could backfire on Ceres, admittedly, because at the moment you would say that Ceres is winning at least the air fight, but it comes down to who captures their outposts more. I mean, if the Vanu guys are on the ground interdicting NC's ground forces, preventing them from moving along, this will actually backfire and bite Ceres quite painfully. Vanu Galaxy gonna ram the Liberate? No, he missed. Oh, he's desperately trying to ram something.
Yeah, if you look right now over Ymir, if that is the main point, there is 95% NC population over the hex of Ymir.
Complete air domination at the moment for Ceres. Right, we'll have a look at the map now. So we got Ellie Forest Pass is now NC, Geological Map Survey is VS. The NC actually has a head start on Bulwark. We do not have... Alright, now Frostfall Overlook is capping for the Vanu, so they're roughly on par. In terms of going north, Not Communications and Ellie, they are about 3 minutes ahead for Not Communications. Theoretically, Bridge Ward is behind.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. For whatever reason, I noticed that Not Communications was capped about a minute late right off the bat. You could tell that Ceres went and capped Eli Tower as, essentially as fast as they could.
At the Bulwark, there was a Vanu Sundra, and they did try and cause some interdiction. They actually do have 2 squads. I think, they've at least got a max and some infantry, but it's too late. The point has already been flipped. These guys have got to leave now. There's no point being here. You had your shot, you tried to stall, you didn't quite get it. It's time to leave, time to redeploy, and maybe stall them at Waimir Southern Reach, which is what is actually going on. If we go to Waimir Southern Reach, if you see the map population, as I warp over there, I can see a lot of VS. They are actually trying to interdict. We go to the capture point. I see one Lightning. There's already a new Conglomerate Sundry here waiting to deploy in. There's actually nobody at the capture point, but I do see 12 to 24 VS numbers. So where are they? There we go, they're beginning to move in. And the thing is that they have to stop everyone getting close to the point, and I mean everyone. It has to be infiltrators, has to be people just YOLOing, running in. But if you can stall for a few minutes, it has a huge implication on the biolab.
For whatever reason, I'm at Frostfall Overlook right now, and there are probably about more than a squad of VS that are just sitting on Frostfall Overlook. I don't know why they need to be there now that they've already flipped the point. They could just head right on over to Eastern Way Station.
Yep, there are some NC at Frostfall Overlook, you're right, but the fact is they need to go back to Eastern Way. The rink, there's only VS. There were some NC at Not Communications. I don't know if there are flyers trying to people just stall. The real question is how much they can stall at the Octagon of Ceres listening post, because if you can hold 1 point and just 1 point, it becomes a 20-minute cap. So you can really kind of be a nuisance for a long time if you want to interdict at one of the larger outposts.
That'll probably be easier to do at interdiction at Ceres listening post than at the Octagon, because obviously Ceres has that C point that's so much farther away than everything else. And Octagon, I mean, all the points are obviously so close together, it's hard to hold out.
So right now, if we're looking at the map, I definitely say Ceres has a larger air force, but I'm actually staying inside the capture point for Waimir Southern Reach. Why? Simply because there are a lot of Vanu here on the ground going to try and stall. 90 seconds till the bulwark goes through. If NC, that is Ceres, has any infantry, I would try and clear Waimir Southern Reach up now. But it seems that, at least now, it looks like Waterson is trying to make the move early. We want to stall for the biolab. We'll see if they can pull that off. They are surrounded by enemy air, and they are surrounded by enemy vehicles, and the Ceres guys, they just need to get on the point. Just need to flip it. But there's a lot of VS. And we're going to check. And the thing is, they've also got deployed Sunders. Maxes are beginning to be pulled in. So the NC forces are about to start moving in to try and get the capture point off the VS on the base that they don't have any control over. Just remember, VS can't stop anything on this point. They're just here to hold on for as long as possible and keep them off the point. If I was NC, I might even just charge in with Maxes and have infantry running in behind me with our stealth.
If you're at Eastern Way Station right now, the NC have done a really, really great job at the interdiction tactic that we've been talking about so far. They have probably about a squad of guys that have got this point locked down, and they've already probably stalled Waterson for at least 30-45 seconds already.
The thing is, it doesn't really matter though, because Frostfall Overlook's got 20 seconds. Well, maybe you can explain what's going on there while we're watching and staying the fight at Waimir Southern Reach. The VS are now trying to defend the point active against the NC. NC's moving in with their Maxes. They're on the double doors, proud to move in. They're using their explosives and deployables. And in comes charging an infiltrator. He's on the point. He started flipping it. He's hiding. He's still hiding. They don't know he's capping it. Where is he? Oh, there's a big resin. He totally doesn't pay attention. The VS, the infiltrator for NC is on the point. He's killed now, just before they grab the point. Barely managed to stop them. Oh, the point's been flipped though by an NC that got close enough. So that's it. That's how hard interdiction is. One infiltrator, that pro man, scum gunman, made all the difference.
Right now, I'm counting already. The NC have stalled the VS by about 15 seconds already, and they're not even close to pushing in. They're pushing in right now, but it's going to be at least another 10 to 30 seconds before they can even get on the point.
The VS force that just got wiped out at the other side of Waimir, they can now come to Eastern Way Station. And we can already tell that some Air Force, I see some sites outside trying to help. Oh, the point is halfway down. They are just basically running in. It's a more scrappy version than the previous fight. They're just brute forcing their way onto the point, and that's it, point flipped. If we check the timers now, we can tell that there's a minute gap, which is not enough to capture the biolab. It was close, but it was very hard to pull off. In the north, the rink is going to go through a few seconds behind. I don't know if there's a delay there for the rink to go through, but the fact is Octagon has a head start on Ceres listening post. Actually, Octagon's going to go quite quickly here.
Yeah.
We see...
They're probably about 3 minutes ahead, it looks like.
There seems to be a big differences between how many people are actually capping the north. If you have a look at the VS, actually, it's pretty pointless coming over here. There's maybe 3 VS over here, and they need to have these very few numbers flip Sierra listing posts, where the Octagon had a full squad prepped on every single point, but as soon as that bridge wall cap went through, every single point flipped at one time. Sierra, only Bravo's been flipped.
You can definitely tell over time that, you know, Ceres was just that much faster at each point flipping, and it's totaled up to be probably about 2 minutes that they're going to have free on Echo Valley Substation.
This is actually quite important because they're actually only sending one person actually to Zero who's captured B point. And this is quite important because, there's your alert, this is actually quite important because Ceres can take even longer. They need to get the other points. They haven't even started it. Octagon has such a huge advantage. That could be up to 4 minutes advantage. They can go to ISA Southern Camp and even probably start a huge chunk of the tech plant before the VS can even do anything.
See, this is the other side where you have ISA. It could just be a case that Waterson aren't too worried about it, because when Ceres get back, they need to remove the TR influence.
But the point is, it's a 7 minute cap point. Yeah.
If they take that over, they could not have to worry about that TR influence.
Well, inside the biolab, we already have, they're basically coming in from the jump pads, because teleporter buildings are not available to each team yet. Vanu is coming from the northern jump pads. It looks like they're fighting mainly for Banana. NC's got themselves set up on Banana building. Oh, the BVs have pushed in pretty hardcore, so Waterson's grabbed himself the Banana building. They pushed the Ceres forces back to basically the shield generator room, where we can see Ceres maxes. And it's basically, it's a mini bridge fight. It's an infantry bridge fight. Awesome.
The thing that's going to be very interesting to me is, okay, once somebody has connection to Echo Valley Substation, how many guys do they send there? Do they send a squad? Do they send 2 squads? Do they send an entire platoon? Because to me, Echo Valley is just as important.
What's the populations at Weimer Biolab?
Completely even.
As it looks, at least for the Alpha cap point, VS are pushing over the bridges now. They're moving into the NC's territory side. Infantry in the front. I'd like to see more maxes because, resources, but they are just dominating into A. Waterson just pushing Ceres off the A capture point, which is still not under contention yet. If we're looking 20 seconds until the NC can start the biolab cap, it's at least another minute before the Vanu can. That's for Waterson.
I am honestly shocked that we don't see more maxes.
Well, I think maxes may come more into play as the time moves on, because certain consumables will become less and less apparent because of resources.
So it looks to me, and this is backed up by what Louis said earlier, is it looks like VS or Waterson committed only the absolute bare minimum of people to send up to the north to cap up to Echo Valley, and it looks like Ceres
over 4 minutes behind though.
So they spent less people, and they have more people that they can devote to the biolab. But at the end of the day, it looks like Ceres is going to basically have a free chance at Echo Valley Substation. Right now, they're going to have 4 minutes, essentially, which is the entirety of the cap at Echo Valley Substation, that Ceres can't even touch it.
Yep.
So
we'll see how this moves on, because
6 extra guys may make or break this fight.
Well, don't forget, the biolab, while it's important because this is the first meetup or contention point, it looks at the moment VS has 2 of the points and they outnumber the enemy 2-1, so which means they can get to the middle lane first, but at the same time the NC are going to get to Echo Valley Substation first, so they can also contend that same middle route from the other side. Now, Alpha and Bravo points are under hold by a fairly strong Waterson Vanu force, and the 1/3 number-wise for Ceres infantry on the ground, they're basically holding on to Charlie and they're trying to contest A, but they're fighting uphill into the large staircase. I don't know why the SU generator's been charged at the biolab. Maybe they're thinking if we blow this up, then they can't spawn in, at least at some point. But the problem is, the Vanu forces are flanking the NC from behind at Charlie, and they're beginning to move in. There's not enough defenders here. Where's the extra numbers for the NC? Where are they all at?
They're at Echo Valley right now.
They're all north, basically, and they're getting outnumbered. Okay. But then again, that could be smart, because if they can grab more territory to the north, or maybe force the north, it's a territory game. It's not who owns the biolab.
Right. It's force allocation. How can you get the most from the least amount of people? And right now, I think Ceres is playing that game very well.
If you control Sierra listing, that gives you ISA mounting, ISA Tech and ISA Southern and the Octagon all held.
The ice is only there for technology though, it doesn't actually count in terms of territory for the end score though.
Okay.
Oh. Looks like this Max has some C4 on him. He's like, hey guys, help! There's C4 flying around me! and that C4 got shot or blown up. He is dead. Oh, we still have NC on the outside. NC are reinforcing. They're taking Charlie back. A lot more numbers. What's the population numbers now on the Waimir?
Still 50-50.
50-50. So actually, NC's reinforced the biolab. They're trying to prevent the Vanu from getting a capture. So the numbers from the north must have come down south. They've got themselves C point. Lots of maxes. Definitely more maxes here. There's no real push on Bravo. Bravo's so far away. It looks like the real emphasis is hold on to C and then maybe go for Bravo. This is hard to say because Ceres forces, they need to make a call here. Do they push hard on A or go for B? It looks like they're actually going to go into the A building cap point, pushing up big stairs. They've already got themselves the ground floor of the shield generator. I see significantly more maxes for the NC than I do the VS. But there's a lot of heavy assaults for the VS firing down rockets on the big stairs. Doesn't look like the Maxes have got themselves engineer support either. They're just taking a lot of hits, even with flak armor. That's not going to be enough.
Yeah, Waterson totally got outflanked over by the spawner, and Ceres just waltzed over to B point and took it with
so the small staircase from Matheson. Sorry, what am I talking about? Waterson is getting flanked from behind by Ceres on the small staircase. Good strong defense in the front. Nice C4, but they're getting attacked from behind. Oh, interestingly enough, you're right, Bravo Point was taken by Ceres, and now Ceres are very close to taking Alpha Point. We see reinforcements coming in from the north at the jump pad and teleporter building to the north for Waterson, but A Point taken over by a very strong max push with infantry by Ceres, and they've got themselves A. So now they have all 3 points. The base was neutral. This actually flips amazingly into the favor for Ceres. Only 60 seconds to go until Ceres captures this base. And it just seemed like Waterson had this, but because they're two separate outfits fighting over a neutral base, this is why this is flipped so quickly.
Interestingly
so
enough,
many NC maxes. Go ahead.
If you look at the map right now, there is no way that that VS can contest Echo Valley. It will flip before Cerro listening post flips, so they basically get Echo Valley for free.
Right.
And they will own it by the time VS can
where's
come
the
crashing down.
VS? The absolute population has plummeted. Huge number of VS. They're probably waiting for a teleporter room crash, but they have to be quick. 40 seconds and this base goes through. And then you got to say, defending this base as a team is going to be significantly easier. Right, so they spawn in.
Looks like here they come.
They're outside Banano, lots of maxes, but they are surrounded by lots of NC maxes. This is going to be a massive attrition away from the points, and that's what Ceres wants. Looks like the Waimir Biolab is going to go to Ceres with a beautiful reinforcement play, basically using their numbers effectively in the north, and then redeploying as necessary to the south.
Nothing better than a scat max and a biolab.
Yeah. Haha! It is. There are no infantry. It is a max war. That is all we have. It's mech wars, guys. So there we have it. Ceres takes the point off Waterson. But again, I must stress, this is only one territory. So the Waterson can decide to continue to fight at the biolab, or they can choose to try, contest more of the north.
But the crazy thing about it is they have both Ymir and Echo Valley substations, so there is nothing that is going to stop, Ceres from sending one person that can cap all three of those bases, and there's nothing that Waterson can do about it.
It's right. East River Sky there's actually East River Sky Station could be attacked by the NC, and they could also attack Waimir Mine Watch. So there's still a ton of maxes going on the inside. They've managed to get themselves A point back, so at the very least they've prevented a hack from behind. But the number-wise, I think they're grossly outpopped at the moment. Let's have a quick peek. Now, tell me, the tech plant, I see that Waterson VS is actually attempting to make a capture for the tech plant. Is there anything done for the NC?
Does not look like
No.
it. I think that Ceres tried to push through the biolab. To me, I think that Waterson probably wouldn't have wanted to go for the tech plant either, but the fact that
Go have a look at Mine
both
Watch.
ISA and the biolab
Go
tells
have a
me
look
that they
at
probably think that,
Waimir Mine Watch. Tell me if anyone's defending it, trying to prevent them from getting the cap point. So we have, in terms of the biolab, it's nearly 50-50 numbers. Vanu, Waterson's got themselves set up at A. They are charging the SU generator. NC, big numbers coming in from the Charlie point. They're making a fresh push into the ground floor of the A building. It looks like they're being held, at least for the time being, at the door, not being able to make the push in. I mean, if I was NC, maybe try and take the small staircase, but it looks like they've got all the points covered for now. Reinforcements, however, are going to be a lot more tricky for the Vanu forces in the big stairs. Plenty of explosives and grenades going off. It looks like NC, yep, they've taken the ground floor. They're at the SU generator. Looks like they'll save it with 20 seconds to go. And they've now pushed up big stairs. It looks like reinforcements were the issue. Lots of grenades and consumables and explosives going off for the NC against the Vanu forces on the top stairs.
Yeah, right now there's nobody from VS other than a couple of sides, even in the hex for Ymir Mine Watch. So VS or NC Ceres can take it whenever they choose.
I'm surprised they haven't done that immediately.
I'm kind of surprised as well. I mean, it's
East River Sky Station and Ymir Mine Watch are free bases that they are not taking. And also what surprises me is that the NC, whether this is an oversight, they are not going for Ice or Southern Camp. And that means, hypothetically, Waterson could get free tech. Now, at the end of the day, it should be stressed, guys, that the tech plant and its two sub-bases do not count towards end territory. So maybe Ceres says, hey, if you want mag riders, that's fine. We don't care. You know, waste your time going there.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily a waste of time just yet, because you only need to send one person. You know, if they were sending 24, then yes, it would be a terrible force allocation. But I mean, sending one guy isn't going to sway the battle, and you can get,
It's a brutal fight going up the small staircase, but NC Ceres are just absolutely brute forcing their way up the small staircase, and the amount of explosives going on is insane. But this rate can't be kept up with the reinforcements. A lot of dead NC.
I mean, this is a huge oversight by them. Like, in terms of grand strategy, all it takes is one person flipping over.
Oh, I tell you what, apologies. The reason they can't capture Ymir Mine Watch is because the A point is still under contention at Ymir Biolab. That's why. That's why they can't get that base.
They can go south to East River Sky
Station.
Yeah,
they could do Sky Station, but they are doing that.
All it takes is one VS, infiltrator starting to sit on the point in Echo Valley, and you lose that opportunity. You lose the opportunity to get 3 free bases.
It's phenomenal. The reinforcements for the VS are coming constantly streaming over from Banana. So even though NC made a huge push and just brute forced their way up, the amount of explosives and rockets and tank mines and claymores and C4 and grenades and conks going off, it's exceptionally high. And they've pushed back, and they've managed to get themselves holding on to the A point, and they're still holding on to the SU generator room and the top staircase. And it also looks like they're doing a fresh push around potentially to take Bravo. Maybe we'll have a look. And it looks like there's another push coming in from the NC. Now, because the resources and the maxes are free, we'll see an extremely max heavy game today, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
I wonder if this can finally answer the question: is who's going to win with a platoon of maxes, NC or VS?
Well, the thing is, right, I'm seeing NC maxes sometimes use shield. Lovely C4, but the C4s are going to run out. If this is a 2-hour fight, you are not going to have 100 million C4, but you're right. But at the end of the day, I'm seeing NC maxes use the shield. What I'm not seeing, Zoe. Zoe's just all but disappeared.
In a biolab, harken back to 6 months ago,
when everyone had Zoe and it was just the League of Super Saiyans.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Yes. Well, I'm just looking at the minimap here because I can't watch all the angles, guys. The SU generator has been charged, and the push that potentially went for Bravo is being repulsed. So only one capture point is being held by the Vanu forces. Population-wise, it is still 50-50 at the biolab, which means hypothetically there'll be 50-50 in the north as well. I mean, it looks like there's not really a stack. Oh, here's something. Huge NC max crash coming in from the north, wrapping around the north air pad, and they're going for Banana Building. It looks like they're going to crush the VS forces from the rear.
Something that I'm surprised Waterson didn't do is they didn't send any forces into the Banana Room to speak of, so they won't see this coming.
No, this is going to be painful. And we can see those max shields that we're talking about. They're making a push now across the double bridges. Lots of maxes, lots of infantry. And we're basically, and now they have a charge in from some of their guys with charge. VS forces are aware of the fact they're getting flanked from behind. All of them are turned around facing the door, but there's just so much max armor coming in through those doors. It's going to be a lot of explosives. Conch grenades are your friend here, but there's only going to be so many heavies. The NC are just crushing themselves into the capture point. Still a lot of resistance going on for the VS, but the fact is that the NC forces are pushing the door. It just looks very painful. Point, hold down fire button, don't stop holding down fire button.
I see a lot of purple skulls on my screen.
I see a lot of blue skulls myself. It looks like NC is beginning to get the day. There's still some resistance on the big staircase, but I think it's all but over. Yeah, that's it, over. So the NC have managed to finally push the VS off Alpha. That was absolutely brutal. Brutal. Wow, okay. Now, in the north, which we've been neglecting, the tech plant is under contention. Now, admittedly, we have to stress here, again, as you said before, that the tech plant is not worth any points. However, the fact is, as soon as it hits the 4-minute marker, the NC can't do anything about it, and they'll get free tech. And they may even, and interesting enough, they may even get a free route to go to Octagon, to go around Echo Valley Substation. But even then, Echo Valley Substation is actually under contention as well. There's a small fight going on here. 2 minutes until Echo Valley Substation goes through. We've got a bunch of NC stragglers. As far as the actual capture point is concerned, not very many people, a couple of single infantry guys, and maybe we have, I guess, one outfit or one squad holding a big staircase. This looks like a small kind of infantry fight. Doesn't look like the NC's all that organised. They're kind of like a bit stragglers. I mean, if I was NC and I've got the biolab on lockdown, I might send 12 guys to Echo Valley Substation just to force in a save. Because at the end of the day, guys, Echo Valley Substation is worth exactly the same amount as Waimir Biolab.
That's going to be difficult if I'm looking at this fight here and the powerhouse is locked down tight by the VS holding it. They got 1 minute, they better be quick. I don't see very many NC here.
Well, the thing is that there's no VS maxes. I don't understand why the NC forces out here don't max up and just push in and take over. When we've got one max, just one crash in with a max with some Scaramax cannons, anti-infantry guns will do it. There we go, so there's max number 1. He's got good health, he's moving in. Oh wow, that infiltrator really adds for it. Good C4, oh the C4 missed. 40 seconds, looks like the VS are being pushed back, slowed to the capture point. I don't know if it's enough though.
Oh, they got good resonades.
No, the NC force has been repulsed, so this is going to be a cap, I think, for Waterson, and this will be, as I said, exact same value as the biolab, which actually the biolab is now under contention. It's like Waterson's taking it. Oh, that was a beautiful rocket. 2-for-1 sale. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to go. We'll go back to the biolab as soon as we finish this cap. Another beautiful rocket. Gosh. But at the end of the day, all he's doing is stat padding. He's getting kills. He's not actually pushing up to the point. VS have got an excellent lockdown. They've got the large stairs. Incoming max at the last second, but it's 2 seconds. This is too late. And the base
huge
flips.
Opportunity wasted by Ceres. Major opportunity wasted. You had 3 points just waiting to be taken.
Oh wow, 3 points are now under control by Waterson at the biolab. What's going on here? We're looking at the population numbers. It's still 50-50. I wonder if this was a huge reinforcement push. NC forces are from Ceres are trying to take back the Charlie Point. I wonder if it's simply because all of the Waterson guys just came in with like heavy max reinforcement, or just came in as one big push and crush. Charlie Point has been retaken by Ceres. As for the A capture point, where the SCU generator is, that's got about 30 seconds to go. Lots of well, there's not as many. They're actually kind of spread out. We've got some maxes on the A point. In the grand scheme of things, big firing line on the big staircase though. Oh, and in comes the NC max push. Doesn't look like they've got any real support, and they're firing in an uphill position, so they're kind of at a disadvantage. Crucially, also the VS maxes. I actually see a Zoe max. There's a Zoe max right there. They've got engineer support, so it's really difficult from the NC forces. They need to be flanked from both ways. Bravo Point is partially under contention. Oh, too fast. It's flipping back and forth. Oh, and trees are my worst enemy. Looks like Waterson's managed to get themselves Bravo again. They do have at least 1 max, 2 maxes, 3 maxes, a bunch of infantry holding the kind of narrow choke point of the stairs.
Well, you can definitely tell that Ceres did not decide that vanguards were in their cards today, because they have just let ISA go with a whisper.
And they've also let the Echo Valley substation go. I mean, there's still decent numbers. VS, as soon as they capture Echo Valley substation, they could hypothetically push into Eastern River Sky Station and get those free middle bases that were missing. Oh, that's a lovely grenade there. Oh, it's another lovely grenade. And a nice little flank from two NC guys with the light assault throwing some C4. Still not enough because he didn't pick off the medics, but it was a lovely little bit of play. Oh, and now the NC is pushing into Bravo Point from the reverse with anti-vehicle max. It must have been conked because he's going quite slow. There's still a VS max up. Oh, we just got brutally C4'd by a medic. And Bravo Point has been retaken by Ceres' new conglomerate forces. So even though it looks like...
on the outside of the biolab, sorry, there are a multitude of Ceres Liberators, Ceres Reavers. I'm surprised that they have probably about 24 people, their entire air force over Ymir that's just flying around. I don't see anything for them to shoot.
That is interesting. I mean, yeah, there's a huge air force actually now. Eastern West. Now, I think why are they getting away with this? Oh, they're actually over Eastern Way Station, which can be... No, it's 3 minutes until it can be contested, but I don't get this whole Air Force gig. I mean, I understand why they can't cap Mine Watch, but... Oh, and it's back under contention again at Echo Valley substation. And the VS have actually... okay, no, sorry. It's hard to tell who's got the hack on ISIS Southern Camp, but it is actually started now, so I wonder if the NC started it because of the population. But going back to... Valley Storage, we see that the NC have now reacted, they've come back, they've got themselves a Sunder set up outside of Banana, and they have themselves the capture point. Looks like they want to take this base back. Doesn't look like a proper coherent push by the Waterson's VS forces. Just a couple of stragglers. I'll tell you what, there is a Sunder though going for the Ceres Sunder. Not sure that's where Sunder babies come from, but where's the AV mines? If you're going to drive a Sunder into another Sunder, you realistically want to just blow it up. Looks like it was just a single guy, perhaps.
So Waterson decided they didn't like being farmed by the air, and they pulled their own air force
a massive
with Size
faux
and
pas.
Liberators right over Ymir.
Okay, I'll go back there, but there's a massive faux pas by the Ceres forces. Basically, the Waterson Sunder parked nose to nose to the Ceres Sunder, and the Ceres guys blew up the Waterson Sunder, even though it posed no threat because there was nobody there, and they blew up their own Sunder, and that's the cap over.
Nice.
It's just oops.
Debris OP.
Yeah. Yep, and in the skies, I can see what you mean by the fresh air fight going on. At the end of the day, I mean, I have to question. I mean, I know you don't like farmed in sky, but do you need to pull air? I mean, because at the end, it's all internal ground fighting at the moment going at the biolab.
I wonder if they thought that maybe it was a preemptive push, that they thought that they're able to cap the biolab. They felt secure enough in that they wanted to pull their air and get ready for the push north to perhaps Eastern Way Station or Ymir Mine Watch after that, so it was a preemptive shove. Although for all it's worth, I don't see many Reavers in the sky anymore. I do see quite a bit of side, so I don't know if it actually timed out very well for them.
We've got this lovely shredder duel going on between these two liberators. And there's still a bunch of this. Oh wow, we got absolutely destroyed. Nice! Nice! So basically a tank busting Liberator came in, killed off a Waterson Lib, but the debris of the Waterson Lib just destroyed the guy who killed himself. Oh man, that was beautiful. I love that. I love that.
That's PlanetSide in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, it's just beware of debris, boys. So we just check out the map, what's going on. Still 50-50.
The Octagon's picking up. We just had a full drop pod, a squad deployed drop pod onto Charlie Point over at the Octagon, and it seems like the VS are now trying to push onto the Octagon.
Am I missing something here, or
Echo Valley
are we aware that the middle bases can be contested? Yes, so I am seeing that Ymir mines, but I don't understand why the VS are not even trying to get East River Sky Station. That they are aware that these bases can be taken, right?
They're trying to hold Echo Valley right now, but all it takes is one infiltrator, just running over there. just takes one guy.
It's safe
That's all
though.
it takes, guys.
The problem is, alright,
I feel like
it was
a
safe.
broken record. That's the thing. Like they're just up for the taking. You know, if I was their force commander, I'd be like, hey, you know, these 3 bases are just as good as, you know, those bases up to Knot.
Well, we
There's
have
no reason not to take them.
a proper armor response now to Waimir. Sorry, not Waimir. That's the Echo Valley substation. But oh wow, they've been sidestepped. They've got Sunderers, they've got Lightnings, they've got a full squad of infantry all on Echo Valley substation. What's the problem? They've been sidestepped. Octagon is under contention now by the Waterson forces.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of which, they actually have all the capture points with Charlie under contention. Now, Ceres does have their Air Force. If you're going to have your Air Force over anywhere, it's got to be Octagon. Octagon's the place to be. Because you can kill off all the spawns, so there's no safe spawn point, and then you just recapture the points.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing Air can't do at the Octagon is actually sit on the points, but they can do pretty much everything else.
That would be a cool air base, just flying in the sky that Air has to capture. That'd be kind of interesting.
It would be interesting. Maybe when 10 years from now, when
we have Bastion carriers?
Space. Yeah,
oh, yeah, okay. Looks like
settle down.
we have a redeploy of Ceres forces that have come into the Octagon. They've got themselves a bunch of maxes, and they're just beginning to proceed and wipe out. Which I can only assume.
Did they need all of them though? I'm looking. I mean, they have 85% of the pop. It was
so long as they're not losing the biolab. Theoretically, yes, that's fine. Because of the biolab is like a linchpin defense in the south. You get that, you save the middle lane from being contested, and you save the southern lane being contested. So that means you can commit as many as you want to the Octagon. And the thing is, once you've got the Octagon, then the choice comes in. Do you want to try and get Vanguards from the north? Do you want to try and go to Echo Valley? You need to go to Echo Valley substation. That's a given. It's the easier way to progress to the north. But the interesting thing is that the Octagon itself is a linchpin. So by holding Waimir Biolab and Octagon, I think they might have enough
territory. Are you
territory.
seeing this air battle over Echo Valley?
Oh, yep. Do some counting for me. If the NC had all the middle bases and and Octagon to Waimir, how many territories is that?
If the NC had them?
Well, that's okay, I'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10?
That's enough. They'd win.
Yeah, that's it.
So
and the thing is Waterson has every opportunity to go to East River Sky Station, but they're not. They're doing the exact same thing as Ceres.
The rules were
purpose opportunity.
Yeah, no one fights at River Sky Station. Didn't you know that?
Oh, okay. It's just a ghost cat back and forth.
It's it's just a totally unloved base. It's just screaming, "Cap me, cap me!"
It just looks so awesome. I'd love to.
It's a nice
It
base.
actually is a really cool
place
base. I
to
feel
play
bad
that.
for the level designer who didn't, who spent all of his time and no one gets to play on it. But it's just like a stopgap between Cerro and Ymir
So
for a lot of people.
Octagon. Oh god, has that been reinforced again? Now we're looking at Octagon. Yeah, the thing is, Ceres are trying to push over to Echo Valley, but the fact is, Echo Valley, Octagon has not been saved. They need to. This is the problem, I guess, with 4 cap point bases. If you have just one good infiltrator, or maybe a beacon force just to call in reinforcements, you can just be a royal pain in the backside.
To me, it's incredible. They're saying, they're pushing all these forces into trying to take the Octagon when you can have East River Sky Station, which is worth just as much as, the Octagon, which we all know is a pain in the behind to try and take, especially if you don't have air. You're just asking for it.
Yep. It's just that apparently, guys, is a female max. There you go. Right, so they've got themselves Charlie, but the fact is there was a medic that was hiding off to the point. Maybe some more motion sensors might be at play, but the Octagon is still being somewhat just a nuisance, because I can tell that Ceres forces, they want to start the cap on Echo Valley substation.
And they'll have it here in just a moment.
But the thing is, the VS have got the capture point. Why aren't they stacking Echo? It's a free base. So, God, we can't interfere.
I feel like we're being a broken record about this. But we're like staring at the map, going, "These are perfectly
And the NC,
viable bases.
the NC's
Finally got there. They finally got there. They have one person on Bravo at the crash site. I was sitting here waiting for that to happen. It's finally happened.
What, Terran BL4?
Yes.
There you go.
Because I was going to say, why aren't they capturing Terran BL4 either? But they got 1 point. They need to get one more point. There we go. Some smart bugger in his little Reaver, very golden shiny Reaver, is beginning to... Oh, wow! Air Force coming in from Waterson on the top. Nice little swooping maneuver by the Scythes.
The Reaver hot on their tails as well.
There you go. Somebody did it. East River Sky Station getting flipped.
Nice. Double Liberators coming down, defending their Scythe, pushing the Reaver back. Very impressive. Oh, and we got fresh Scythe Air Forces above the Biolab. Looks like they're basically having another air fight, which is beautiful.
You know, to me, I'm looking, forces, even if it was a token force, were allocated to taking the tech plant, and yet I haven't seen a single Mag Rider, have you?
No. But then again, where would you use a Mag Rider? If I was going to use a Mag Rider, I'd probably use it in the north, Ceres listing post to defend Echo Valley Substation, to clean up all that armor.
I would use it at BL4 if it was me.
They can't do anything at BL4 though, so why go there? If anything but to stall.
Not yet. I mean, everything from East River Sky Station to BL4.
So we've
is
got
just
Tank
completely
Buster
open.
versus Shredder. Who wins? It looks like Tank Buster.
There you go. Not for long though.
Nope, Shredder
Patch
won.
incoming.
Shredder definitely won. Yeah, well, yes.
Patch incoming.
There's many viewpoints on that.
We don't talk about that here. Leave that for
No,
the
there
Reachcast
are
show.
no politics in this game, or at least in this cast. Well, the air battle's still going over the Biolab, although it's kind of hard to say who's got the advantage. It looks like the Waterson's keeping the ground to the west, and Ceres is holding their ground to the east. Sorry, reverse that. Waterson east, Ceres west. There you go.
The SCU gen, shield gen, has just fallen.
On the Biolab?
near Bio.
Rightio. Numbers are still roughly 50-50. It's interesting because the fight is actually going... It's basically an air fight going all the way from the Biolab to Echo Valley Substation, which is now finally under contention. The Octagon capture points have all been saved, and it looks like the Ceres force have got themselves set up on the big staircase for Echo Valley Substation. Now, this is a small force. This is only about one squad, if we check the numbers here. Yeah, it's about a little over one squad with the vehicles and the infantry.
There's not many attacking them either, though.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of stragglers at the moment. Nothing really seriously kicking off. The thing is, though, this is 2 minutes 50 seconds where you basically have 1 or 2 squads of your enemy sitting doing nothing. So only when you really need to does Waterson need to come in and hammer it. Because at the end of the day, there's not a great amount of Air Force here, so they could come in, send maybe a couple of guys for the Sunderers, but just absolutely hammer it with like 24 people in maxes.
Farah, question. How does a neutral base get recapped after it is starting to be capped?
What do you mean?
BL4 is going back to TR.
Have a run over.
Point of query. Point of
That-
interest.
that-
Oh,
that-
here we go.
that
Maybe
is interesting.
go back to Echo Valley. Definitely heated up now.
That is interesting, isn't it? I wonder if we've had outside...
Jackal, we need you.
I think we have a random 0020.
Do, 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 do. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Talking about something to see, it looks like the VS have cleaned up most of the forces at Echo Valley Substation. We see the ever-elusive Zomax here.
So, just to be clear, guys, I'm totally not Ceres biased. I was totally not going against Waterson. It was simply that base was flipping for the NC, and the TR person came in and stopped it when they shouldn't have done. That's why I did that. No drama, please. No drama. Okay, so back to Echo Valley Substation. 90 seconds to go, and Ceres gets their hand on a base. Oh, that's a big push on the infantry. I can see on the minimap. Looks like they've already just pushed in, and they've taken the point back. Wow, talk about missing the entire fight. But then again, that's exactly what we were talking about. It was a weak force defending the point, and Waterson just allowed the NC basically to sit there for a whole bunch of time doing nothing. Although they are reinforcing now at Banana Building on their one Sunderer.
Ceres isn't giving up. They have plenty of people out here that are, most of them are...
Galaxy
seem to be
come from up
repairing the
above.
Sunderer.
Oh, there's a fresh air force coming in from the Waterson guys pushing over the Echo Valley, but it's not. They didn't actually do anything to the Sunder, which is now under attack by a lightning. A lightning, dude! You've got the tech plant. Why haven't you got a Mag Rider? That's far cooler.
Which is actually under contention right now.
Yes, it is. Small forces? No, it's just a single guy, probably.
I'll go check.
Well, I don't see the Sunder lasting very long for the Ceres. Oh, and it's getting tank busted. Yes, now in comes the Waterson Air Force. Sunder's down. They've even got another Waterson Sunder to help assist bomb out. So this Ceres force has now been pushed out of Echo Valley Substation. I think if you want Echo Valley Substation, you're going to have to commit a lot of numbers. So even though theoretically Waimir Biolab, which you'll go back and have a look now, is only worth 1 territory point, because of its tactical strategic importance on the map, that's why so many forces are being invested in it. And it looks like the NC is making a big max infantry crash. They are applying pressure into A again, and they're taking back the holds. Now this is going to be interesting because but they're losing Bravo. Nothing would make Ceres happier if they could just get their hold on the Biolab and then push into the Eastern Y Station to get the fight away from the Biolab onto a single point, which they could probably hold better. Maybe they use their Air Force, so it's hard to say. Now, the mine... Okay, turn Bale 4 is going very slowly, and I mean very slowly because of that just 2 points. I'm surprised a third person hasn't actually gone there and stopped it. And East River Sky Station is actually capped. So... the question is, why isn't VS attacking Terran Beal 4? I think there's too much emphasis being played on this Biolab. You can get some quick and easy free captures going on. That's not happening.
Yeah, because right now Waterson is actually in the lead, 9-8. So if BO4 goes to NC, things might get interesting.
Absolutely. And this is the thing. Waterson, I mean, we still have this neutral kind of territory. Wait, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, not research camp doesn't count.
Oh, that's right. I was an idiot. That's right. I saw purple.
So
sorry, guys.
they're actually...
Casper's a liar.
Believe it or not, it's currently a draw. So, we won't go into that too much, because I don't see that Terran territory staying neutral very long. We've got about an hour and 10 minutes to go, so... yeah, it's an hour and 11 minutes and 40 seconds, so... fresh counter push by the VS Waterson forces back to A. I gotta say, the fighting that has gone on in the heat map between the Banana Building and the A capture point is gonna be colossal. If we could have some sort of stat tracking, how many hundreds of thousands of bullets have been fired between these two sets of doors.
Recursion stat tracker, I need you.
Yeah.
Appear. A wild stat tracker appears.
And this seems to be the kind of back and forth gameplay. One team smashes the other team and pushes them off, and then leaves, and the other team comes back. Oh, but wait, have they got the point? They have! Oh my god, but they're losing it! Oh my god, right, so we need to go have a look. I was going to say, why is there no defenders here? And that's because Ceres managed, at least very briefly, to get the capture point on Waimir Eastern Way Station. So now it's up to the NC. They've dropped a Galaxy, they've got reinforcements. Can't they get the capture point? It's 30 seconds to sidestep. Oh, but there's massive VS reinforcements coming on the minimap. Look at the minimap, the amount of guys coming in. I don't see Ceres being able to hold this. They desperately want this fight. Oh, look, they have an infantryman on the point. He's got barely a little bit of health. Is the point going to flip? Why is the point not flipping? Come on, guys, what's going on here? There's too many VS,
Stalker
I think.
close.
Oh, why is the point still flipping? It looks like the infiltrator's down. They're pushing in.
Nope.
Oh, it's a last second save. The point is finally flipping in the Ceres' favor for NC. Crunching fight going for this capture point. NC has got their hands on it. If we have a look very briefly at Waimir, that's 76% population of Waterson. Completely in the wrong place, guys. Come back. Oh, and they just look at the minimap. The NC forces for Ceres. They're totally got C, and they're pushing back the VS Waterson back to their spawn rooms. If this is where Air Force is, now Air Force comes into play, because now is the time to bomb the enemy and keep them away from that capture point. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Still plenty to can happen. Population-wise, it looks like Ceres does have a slight advantage. Oh, they definitely have an advantage, but the fact is, if Waterson was to pull back their forces from the Waimir Biolab, they would crush the Ceres forces that are here. On the middle lane, what's going on in the middle lane? Terran Beal 4, still going down very slowly. NC's going to capture at 2 minutes. However, there's 55% VS, so theoretically you think
all
they'd stop that.
All those VS are nowhere to be seen. I
Are they all
see
flying?
one Mag Rider out in the middle of nowhere, just hanging out. I wonder if he's even playing. He might be a random. And then there's a couple of sides overhead, but there is no boots on the ground here at
right,
the
so
crash site.
Population-wise,
from either side, honestly.
it's still 50-50, but it looks like there's a completely straight battle line being drawn up, and it is very close to the capture point. Looks like the NC are holding on the ground. VS is kind of light assaulting or dropping on the roof of the capture point. Looks like the line is basically forming because they're trying to outflank each other. Go into the capture building. It has been heavily defended, but right across the tree line there's the VS forces.
Here it goes. BL4 just got gal dropped, and Vanu are pushing on A point. So it looks
they're
like
reversing the cap.
They are going to
Rightio.
make a push for it. At least they're going to try, because there's.
So it looks
nothing
like
stopping
Echo Valley. This is intense because that everything's continued. Oh, however, the VS have made a hard push back into the capture point. It looks like they've just done a concerted pushback, and they've managed to get the point back now. And they've got the point now. This is the important point. Now you have a decision as Ceres. If I can get outside. Ceres, there's a lot of how should I put this? Waterson forces on the ground at A. Your biolab is defended for 2.5 minutes. So for 2.5 minutes, you do not have to defend the biolab. Do you attack hardcore everything you've got back to Eastern Wire Station? Or, as we see here, actually Terran Beal 4's Air Force for Ceres has now come over Terran Beal 4. And now 3 capture points are still in VS contention, but do you, because you have like 2 minutes of Ceres that have the biolab is completely safe, do you send everybody to Terran Beal 4 and destroy it, or
I
what?
don't send everybody, but this has got to go through. There's no reason why Ceres, you've held the biolab for the last hour, why you can't hold it for another 10 minutes or so.
It's
There's
a
no
long
reason why
base
you
cap, though.
you have to let them go.
Drop
It's not a
those
long
troops.
base cap. It's only 2.5 minutes. They've already done most of the work.
I'd prefer to throw those troops across to Echo Valley. You
Maybe.
control Echo Valley. If the NC can control Ymir, and if they can get that footlock onto Echo Valley, it can completely cut the VS out of the middle.
But look at it also from this way, right? To win this, there are 19 territories. That means if you have 10, you win. And that means right now both teams are on neutral. They're balanced. They're on 9. They're on 8 apiece, or 9 apiece. So technically, whoever takes Terran Beal 4 has that advantage.
But if you throw Terran BL4 and let them take that and swap that for Echo Valley gives you a much more stronger strategic position.
Yeah, but Echo...
If you can take it.
Yeah, but if you can take it... But let's not forget here, Echo Valley is a single capture point. Terran Beal 4 is a 3 capture point base. It's significantly longer than a single cap point base, and it's a lot easier to defend if you own it and it is not neutral.
Right now it is neutral, so I mean you can...
It's easier to capture.
Take it back. You can take it back right now if you're Ceres, much easier than you can actually take Echo Valley.
Right.
So that would be the reason why I would argue one versus the other.
So yes, it looks like Waimir Eastern Station has been saved. It looks like VS are maybe beginning to push into the biolab. It looks like the Ceres forces are staying at the biolab to defend it. And crucially, although the are at pop now 50 to 38, but the problem is it looks like mainly Air Forces over Terran Beal 4. I mean, I'm biased. I love Terran Beal 4. Why are you fighting at Terran Beal 4? Get on the ground and go fight and
They just
cap the
got
point.
gal dropped here.
Good. Yes, they are pushing the point.
Just gal dropped at Terran BL4. I think they heard you, Lujo. It looks like Echo Valley is being...
Isotech is flipping as well. They were very closely. They were pretty much near sync cap times. So it was either gal drops coming in from both sides. I missed them, but we have a VS gal drop.
Should be noted that the tech plant is only there for main battle tanks. It doesn't actually, again, as we said earlier, have any outcome. There are 19 territories because we're not including research camp, not including Isomet Pass, not including Isotech plant or Iso Southern camp. So there are 19 territories up for contention, and currently it is still 9 apiece.
What's the timer? How far away?
What, until the end of the whole game?
Yeah, how far?
1 hour and 5 minutes.